things that were not his problems, but became his problems.
And you said it perfect. Welcome to Real Community Banking. I'm your host, Charles Hatchell, President and CEO of Table Rock Community Bank. And today we're going to talk about customer success rooted in a culture of service. I'm going to introduce a couple great friends of mine, so I'll let you guys start.
I'm Haylee Clayton. I work in Springfield as Corporate Services Officer and Consumer Lending Officer.
I'm Isaac Lasater. I'm a commercial loan officer located out of our Springfield office.
So I'm super excited about this discussion today because I watch you guys in action every day. I watch you interact with the team. I watch you interact with customers. I watch you interact with customers on the phone. So today, if we could just unpack a few questions, and here's my first one. Define customer service and how does it translate or incorporate into customer success?
Yeah, I think that in my role at least, and I think everybody could probably relate to this, that the trust that a customer has in you to whenever they come in and they come to you, you take it all the way through what they're needing, finding the root of their issue and really establishing that relationship and connection with them. That's going to play into their overall success because they're not going to have to continue coming back to you for the same issue over and over again. If you find the root of the problem, you can fix it for them, establish that trust, and they're going to leave happy.
For sure.
I think customer service is very reactionary. You know, sometimes people are calling to check on your day, but for the most part, it's calling with a problem, needing a solution. And I think that's an area that, you know, we really shine is when you're calling into the bank, regardless of who you get a hold of, it's going to be somebody that's willing to help and find the solution, whether it's them that's solving the problem or not. I think on the customer success side, it's very proactive. You know, it starts from the beginning. Might be the back of a napkin at a restaurant, having lunch, talking about a deal or moving some money over and just trying to get creative on some different ways. So kind of speaking on behalf of, you know, Haylee, the trust side is a big area that I think falls into kind of both avenues.
Yeah, and unpack, I mean, this is probably a great item is building trust, you know, takes time, right?
Yep.
It takes working hand in hand with customers, team members, individuals. So just unpack just a little bit more of that of how is the trust built?
The trust is built, in my opinion, by them knowing that you're going to go an extra mile for them. You get a request from a customer and you're going to fulfill that request and more. And at the end of the day, they're going to know that you value that relationship with them because you're not just kind of blowing them off. You're really taking your time to establish that and do everything that you can. And they'll know that and they'll want to continue coming to you for that because of the trust.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think banking really plays a role in some of life's biggest decisions, you know, buying a car, a house, getting married, budgeting. I mean, there's a lot of areas that we play into. And when you don't have an idea, I mean, first-time home buyers, you know, it's a scary process and meeting, kind of talking over things. I mean, anything from, hey, let's work on your credit score to, you know, more money down, budgeting. I mean, there's a lot of different areas that I think we really provide service on and kind of builds that trust. Because, I mean, again, you know, there's a lot of scary situations and, you know, everybody's growing, you know, everybody's, you know, in their life is always wanting to grow and, you know, again, could be a car, it could be a house.
Yeah.
You know, being a big part of those areas, I think, really helps and makes a big difference to people.
I agree. And sometimes I think customer success is all different levels, right? It can be as simple as helping somebody cash a check or be part of a transaction of selling a vehicle and preparing cashier's checks to as big as business expansions or budgeting tools. I think all those successes are measured differently, but we're fortunate enough to be part of a lot of that. So I've heard you guys talk about it before, and we've talked about it internally a lot. And one of our anchoring principles is seek to serve. And so when we talk about our internal culture, like how does some of our internal culture translate into customer success?
I think that customers can feel that whenever they walk in, that anchoring principle of seek to serve, because it doesn't matter if you're the right person they need to get to. You know that person is going to help you answer the question, get you to the right person. They're not just going to kind of pass you off. They're going to do everything that they can to fix your issue or whatever, you know. So I think that it kind of also ties back into that trust, because whenever somebody walks in our doors, they know that we're going to take care of their problem.
I think it's a standard that's set, you know, right when people walk in the door, kind of like Haylee mentioned, but from the top down, it's everybody has that mindset of trying to help and wanting to help and willing to help. We don't have the not my job mentality, not, passing people around. We like to solve problems. We like to work together to achieve those goals. And, when you do that time and time again, people really start trusting you and relying on you.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny. I'll laugh at myself because I don't know how many times, because trusting you guys and know the responsiveness is sometimes it'll be like, hey, call Haylee. She'll get right back to you, or call Isaac. They'll get right back to you. So it's always excited whenever we all get to collaborate and work together because we know problems will get solved and they'll get solved fast.
Yeah. It's definitely a trust between team members that, I find myself sometimes like, I don't like to give work to other people. I just want to hold on to it, but knowing that I can trust all of my coworkers and we have a really great team over there that rely on each other all the time. Yeah. And so that's also, it's not just trust with the customer, it's trust amongst the team.
For sure. So Haylee, you said something which I loved, which is, hey, we're not just trying to check a task or off the box, but we're trying to be solutions oriented and like find the root of the problem. And so being solutions oriented, like how does that change the relationship with the customer or the individual walking in the bank or even the team member that you're working alongside?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it just kind of proves that we're there for them. We're trying to establish that relationship. And again, going back to that trust aspect, if you do a quick fix and it doesn't truly fix the root of the problem, that's not starting out on a right foot with a customer who's going to truly be trusting you to fully take care of them. So I think it just goes back to that trust aspect, really. If you are going out of your way and taking just a little bit more time out of your day to really look into the problem and completely fix it to where they're not having to come back to you multiple times, causing more issues for them down the road, then it's only going to make that relationship that much tighter.
Yeah, I agree. Isaac, I mean, I know kind of same question for you, because I know you're always talking to customers throughout the day. So kind of unpack that.
Part of it's, taking ownership in it, finding those solutions and not punting it to the next person. Kind of mentioned in the last question, but, when somebody calls in, it might not be your area. I don't know a ton about Haylee's job, but if a customer calls and asks me questions, and I'm going to try and help, and same thing with Haylee. I know she's taken on a lot of different roles, on the like consumer construction side and some other areas. And, it's been fun to see everybody kind of working together. And,
absolutely.
I have questions. There's a lot of people here willing to help and get you answers. And I think, a team aspect that we kind of provide, we can get the answers pretty fast.
Diving back into success. And again, I'm going to brag on you guys a little bit. And just because I know you guys do such a fabulous job dealing with customers and teammates internally. And so when we begin to talk about customer success, and a lot of these customers and team members turn into friends and family. And so like, how does that change the relationship? How does that define, what we do day to day as a culture of a company?
I think it really speaks on kind of going back to that community side. Everybody here is really tight knit, even the employees. And I think that bleeds out, in our lobby. There's, 7 or 8 of us in there. And I mean, it's a great group. People are walking in hearing laughter, hearing, fun conversations. I mean, you're not walking in somewhere that's stiff and cold. And I think it's an area that, we're with some of these customers during the highs and lows. I mean, I've been in, commercial banking, started as an analyst, but it's been about 10 years and kind of grow up with a lot of the customers. I mean, you have, family deaths, you have new kids, you have birthdays, you have, sports, you have different events and just kind of, growing alongside those, those customers and aging with them, you meet some really good people. And I mean, some of my, best friends are now some of my customers. That's how I met. And it was just, how it works out.
For sure. I mean, it builds trust, right? I mean, at the end of the day, trust is what's driving the relationship and what drives the bond of success, right? So, Haylee.
Yeah, I think that it is also a personal thing for me and our team. Whenever a customer comes in and they just want to chat, they don't necessarily have a whole lot of business to be taken care of. That makes me feel very validated in my job. I want that connection and I want that relationship, and I want to continue this for years. I want to, just be that person for my customer, that they can come and they know that they can just come and chat with me, and it doesn't have to be anything meaningful, or it doesn't have to be that they need something even. They just want that relationship, because community banking is so relationship centered And then on the other side of that, just in the aspect of our coworkers, like you were talking about, I mean, we're spending more time with our coworkers throughout the week than we are family at home.
Yeah.
So obviously you want to invest your time in that, and it just makes you feel more validated in your job and kind of your purpose in your career whenever you have that sense of relationship.
Well, and kind of telling a story a couple months ago that I feel like really resonates and kind of tells the story of our bank. We had a customer that came in, and he comes in a couple times a week, but he was just having a terrible day. You know, things that were not his problems, but became his problems, and he was just not having a good day. And he just came in and talked. So, I mean, I don't have any deposits. I don't have anything to drop off. Like, I just kind of need to see some friendly faces. And, you know, I feel like, a big thing when people walk in, regardless of if they're walking in mad, frustrated, having a bad day, I think an area, rarely do we see people leaving, less happy than what they were when they walked in.
For sure. I agree. I mean, doing this for 20 years, some of the closest bonds you have are with your team members and people you work with on a day-to-day. And I mean, kind of even diving deeper in the relationship part, because I think this can sometimes be unspoken when you're promoting customer service and customer success, is sometimes we make mistakes, right? And building that bond of trust and then owning the mistake and how do we fix it and make it right and doing the right thing. I think that's extremely important in the customer success, is because if we recognize a mistake, how do we fix that for them? So.
Being solution oriented.
Absolutely.
And again, going back again to the trust thing, like your customer, if you do make a mistake, because nobody is perfect, they're going to know that was never your intention to mess something up. And so they're going to be a little bit more forgiving in those instances where it does happen.
Mm-hmm. And as a community bank, I mean, we can fix those things fast, right? We have the internal resources where operations is local. Any sort of management decision needs to be made is local, and so we can fix those really fast.
It'd take a week to get back from somebody there down the hall.
Yeah, for sure. This is probably, having this conversation is probably my favorite question to ask you guys, because we've talked a little bit about culture, and you probably know I love bragging on our team. I think our team is the best. They do a great job day in and day out, when we talk about a lot internally. And so if you could describe what is the secret sauce that creates customer success in our organization? Like, when we describe the team, not only on an individual level, but on the team level, what are the things that stand out to you, maybe stories that drive customer success for us?
I mean, I think it kind of starts with leadership, but I think we, we're kind of wired to solve problems and not create roadblocks. When a customer calls in, we want to work with them. Let's figure out a way to do it, together. It's not this uphill battle of I've got to, go to this guy or get approval from there. I mean, it's sitting down and kind of like we talked earlier, back of the napkin sometimes, just running numbers and seeing, but just being wired to again, solve problems and create solutions rather than create roadblocks, I think is a big area.
Yeah.
I think it kind of comes down to like a feeling of when a customer walks in and they have the friendship and they feel the care, I guess, that our team puts into that relationship with them. They leave feeling better just by visiting us. I think that I would describe as the secret sauce. Is just like care. That they receive whenever they come in and see us. We like to see them, and we hope that they like to see us.
It's not just to get them in the door, it's the continued service. And I mean, an area that I feel like is a big strong suit is just the word of mouth referrals that we've created. I mean, it's every week it's 3 or 4 people that are getting referred over from another customer that was treated right, was happy, and again, kind of solve problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of our principles, our anchoring principles, and the statement that we have internally, one of the sayings, if you remember, it says, "What we do at the table, ... If you remember that. And so you guys have described it perfectly. And what I love is trying to help customers, individuals, team members, that when they show up at the table, at a desk, in our lobby, sitting at the table on the couches or chairs, that we try to do the things that are personal and intentional to let them leave better than when they showed up. And you said it perfect. Yeah. So, I love that. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Real Community Banking, and just excited for you to be part of talking about how customer service and the culture of customer service can align with customer success. And Haylee, Isaac, you guys did a great job, and glad to have you guys, and hope you guys have a great day.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
For sure.